Across the vast and diverse Catholic world, one name resonates with a sense of hope and curiosity: Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle. Often described as a modern-day missionary with a heart as warm as his smile, this Filipino cardinal has emerged as one of the most talked-about figures in the church today. His close relationship with Pope Francis has fueled global intrigue, and many are asking, could he be the next pope? Or is his rising prominence part of a greater plan to reshape the church for the 21st century? Let's explore why Cardinal Tagle's story is captivating the world. Born on June 21, 1957 in Manila, Philippines, Cardinal Tagle grew up in a modest but devout Catholic family.
Well, my family is a normal, ordinary Filipino family. My parents were hardworking Filipinos. Our lives revolved around family, the parish church, school, and the plaza.
His journey to priesthood was not driven by ambition, but by an unwavering faith and a call to serve. Even as a young seminarian, Tagle's intellectual brilliance and deep empathy stood out. He earned degrees in theology and became an expert in church teachings. But he was more than a scholar. He was a pastor, deeply connected to the lives of ordinary people. This pastoral approach shaped his ministry as he rose through the ranks of the church. As Archbishop of Manila, Tagle was known not for grandiosity, but for his humility. He famously rode public transportation, immersed himself in slums, and comforted families displaced by typhoons. It was this hands-on, compassionate leadership that would eventually catch the attention of Pope Francis. The similarities between Pope Francis and Cardinal Tagle are impossible to ignore. Both men are deeply rooted in the principle of a church of the poor. They emphasize mercy over judgment, service over status, and bridge building over division. Their shared vision of inclusivity and outreach to the margins of society has created a bond that transcends formal roles. This connection became unmistakable when Pope Francis elevated Tagle to a series of high-profile roles. In 2019, he was appointed prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples, a position that oversees the church's missionary efforts worldwide. This role is often described as one of the most important within the Vatican, symbolizing the church's commitment to spreading the gospel. But it also positioned Cardinal Tagle as a key player in shaping the church's future. What makes Cardinal Tagle so unique is not just his titles or his theology, but his ability to connect with people on a deeply human level. Whether he's comforting victims of natural disasters, speaking to a crowded church, or engaging with global leaders, his presence radiates warmth and sincerity.
Jesus is alive, and Jesus will always be there for us. Open your eyes of faith and find stability in Him. Make hope the source of stability, the certainty that God has triumphed. And our problems, the problems surrounding us, do not have the final word. It is the certainty of God's triumph in Jesus that has the final word.
In a world where the church faces growing challenges, declining attendance in the West, a need for reconciliation with marginalized communities, and the call for transparency, Tagle's approach feels refreshingly grounded. His leadership at Caritas Internationalis further underscores his global appeal. As the head of this Vatican-affiliated charity network, Tagle has championed efforts to address poverty, inequality, and social justice. These priorities resonate not only with Catholics, but with people of all faiths, making him a powerful ambassador for the church on the world stage. Naturally, his meteoric rise has sparked whispers of papal potential. In recent years, Vatican insiders and observers have speculated that Pope Francis may be quietly preparing Tagle as a possible successor. While the election of a pope ultimately rests with the College of Cardinals, there is a precedent for popes shaping the landscape of potential candidates through key appointments. Could this be the case with Tagle? Tagle's ascent comes at a pivotal moment for the church. While its influence remains strong in the global South, its presence in Europe and North America is waning. Many argue that the church's next leader must be someone who understands the challenges of a globalized world while remaining deeply rooted in tradition. Cardinal Tagle, with his cultural sensitivity, intellectual depth, and pastoral care, embodies this balance. But the question remains, is the Church ready for its first Asian Pope? While his nationality may break barriers, it is his message that truly matters. Cardinal Tagle's vision for a compassionate, inclusive church aligns with Pope Francis's transformative agenda, and in a world hungry for moral leadership, his approach to faith as a force for good resonates far beyond Catholic circles. Whether or not Cardinal Tagle becomes the next pope, his influence on the church is undeniable. He represents a bridge between continents, between generations, and between a church rooted in history and one adapting to modern realities. And as Pope Francis continues his papacy, the close relationship between these two leaders serves as a powerful reminder of what the church can be, a beacon of hope, humility, and service in an ever-changing world. Subscribe for more in-depth stories on faith, history, and the church's future.